birch tree health survey for the presence of the bronze birch borer in Bellingham, Washington. My name is Kenyon. This past spring, I graduated from Whatcom Community College with my associates in biology. And this fall, I'll be headed to Western Washington University as a biology student. So looking at equitably increasing Bellingham's tree canopy cover, we really want to make sure that we're planning for the success of the trees, and not just planting trees. I really liked this graphic when I first shot and kind of showing how you're really, as the tree is growing, the benefits are increasing and they're really maxing out after 50 or 60 years. So making sure that we're looking at what types of trees we're planting and making sure we can properly maintain them to get them to that point where they're so beneficial is really important. For this project, I'll be looking at a specific genus of trees we have in the Pacific Northwest, birch trees. So I'm looking at them in light of a recently growing problem. This guy down here, the bronze birch borer. It is a native species to Washington State, found anywhere birch trees are found. They live as in their larval stage throughout the year, and they feed off of the xylem inside the tree, cutting off the flow of nutrients, and that's why you can see here in this tree, which this is actually a observation I took from Seattle, but you can see how the tree canopy is almost gone. So my objective was to investigate the presence of the bronze birch borer. And the point of this is to understand the impact that this beetle is having on the birch populations in Bellingham, understand on kind of a larger scale how the problem might be growing and expanding, and then also provide some information that can inform the city of Bellingham and any of its residents on the state of birch trees and whether or not we should be planting them and whether this is something we might avoid or maybe not, for equitably increasing Bellingham's canopy cover. So I started, and with the help of Joey, I was given this map of 150 randomly selected blocks across Bellingham. I viewed all of the blocks on Google Street View, viewing any that I couldn't view or had an outdated view or any that had birch trees. And then I would later travel to these blocks and take observations. And I didn't all do this in two separate parts. I kind of looked at a section of the city on Street View, and then I would go visit it and take observations, and so forth, so on. I used iNaturalist to record the observations under this Birch Tree Health Watch project. For every observation, I answered all of these questions about the tree condition, ranging from dead to excellent, recorded its dieback percent, evidence of beetles, discoloration, and then I also put general notes. And then, of course, here are just a bunch of pictures. A lot of pictures were taken. Pretty quickly, I kind of developed a uniform kind of 3-picture minimum, where I'd take a picture of the entire tree, a picture that is getting kind of the tree's trunk or bark in there, and then a picture of leaves and ideally the fruiting body if I could get it. And then, of course, any other pictures of anything interesting. From there, I could take all of the data on iNaturalist and upload it to a Google spreadsheet to kind of look at the data all together and start interpreting it and messing around with it. But then I could also take the data on the spreadsheet and upload it to that same Google My Map with the blocks, as you can see here in this picture. And then this is really cool because I can go in, I can adjust. I think in this picture, the trees are adjusted by tree condition. But I can adjust the metric to organize them, and then here's kind of a zoom in to show there's the exact placement of the tree, and then put it on GPS. So, in total, I got 85 observations, 30 of which are located on that random block set. So, and I decided to take an additional 55 observations, and here's kind of an example of what that looked like. The reason I decided to do this is because at the time, after recording these 30 observations, I still hadn't found a sure sign that the bronze birch borer was in the city. There were several trees I suspected, but it did end up paying off. I found one tree out of these 85 that had this characteristic D-shaped hole that I could be pretty positive that the bronze birch borer is in the area. Now, there's several other trees that I thought likely had it, but I couldn't find that hole. There's a few possible reasons this could be the case. I might be human error. I didn't find the hole. Hole could be somewhere above my head. The bronze birch borer could also be on a 2-year life cycle. That it can do that, especially in colder regions, which we are kind of in more northern area of its range. So I suspect many of these trees I found, these ones in these pictures here, maybe do have the borer, but that they're still in their larval stage inside the tree. Looking at the percent canopy dieback for all of the trees, the average canopy dieback is about 19%. And then 65 out of the 85 trees have 30% dieback or less, which is kind of important because there are treatment options for the bronze birch borer, but they do require that they only work before the tree loses too much, about more than a third of its canopy. So it may be that at this current moment, it's possible to save many of these trees if they do have the bronze birch borer in them. Here I overlaid the positional data, and here I have it organized by the tree health condition on the heat disparity map of Bellingham. I actually did this originally just to look at it because I was frustrated switching between the two tabs. And then I made this on PowerPoint and then decided I should include it. It is, I don't see too many strong correlations. I was thinking maybe instead of looking at where the trees are, looking at where the trees aren't, especially here in this like downtown regions of Bellingham. There were a lot of blocks that I went to there where I didn't find any birch trees. Now the tree canopy cover is low there to begin with, but Also something to be aware of is that it would be interesting to look at this with only the 30 trees found on that original random block set to keep the survey kind of true. And then here I also have it overlaid, and this is the tree equity score. So here, I had a lot of thoughts going on, and I kind of wanted to, I laid it out in this bubble map to kind of help myself and hopefully help you guys kind of look at how I'm thinking. I have it color coded by, this is the observational data from the stuff I found during this project. This blue is things that are known. This yellow is kind of speculation. There's not enough evidence to claim these, but these are kind of some of my thoughts, brainstorming, and then the red flags are, don't get ahead of yourself here. But I do, it is interesting to kind of look at this. In 2022, we had kind of a historic summer of heat wave and drought. And I was pondering that this would maybe kind of line up with kind of a timeline. In summer 2022, you get, from the drought, you get a lot of stressed birch trees. Maybe you have some bronze birch borer show up. They target unhealthy birch trees. But then the following summer 2023, they smell those now stressed, unhealthy birch trees, show up there. And then here this summer, when I looked at it, I see a lot of trees that look like they have signs of this borer beetle, but I don't see any holes. And so maybe they're on this 2-year life cycle. This is, again, thoughts that I'm having. But I guess it kind of points to maybe this is we have some very recent activity. Also, when comparing the birch observations to birch observations in the kind of Seattle, Tacoma area, moving forward. Well, all of those kind of point to this down here, that we need more data, said by every scientist ever. But it would be really, really interesting to return to these trees a year from now and then compare their conditions to their conditions now. I think that could tell us a lot about the direction this issue is moving. And then, of course, adding more trees. I would say at this time, I would advise the city of Bellingham and the community to hold off from planting birch trees for now until maybe we know more. At this moment, it seems like they won't be, there's a high likelihood they won't make it moving into the future. Because I'm running out of time, I'm kind of gonna skip over this, but this is some of the things I learned along the way, mistakes I made, things I like to do better. Yes, so thank you to everybody here. All of these people. This was a really fulfilling experience. And then I have links to the data